You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Check it out. Boost it up. We're here on Buzzin' After Raw, and it goes like this. The episode ends and it's time to start. Last night we all put the wheel before the cart, trying to hope we see something unexpected. But Vince's Mania masterpiece needs protecting. Projecting opinions, it's what we do. Here on AfterBuzz TV with the crew, we're buzzing after Raw on Monday nights. I got to say that my crew is nice. We got Ryan Clum, and he's popping like a kernel. The father figure, you could say he's paternal. Fraternal kind of love for the man by his side. We're buzzing after Raw. Josh Padgett makes it showtime. Slide the camera to the social couch. Cupcake's not here, but her replacement's no slouch. He's the voice of choice and host. Cut that promo. Let me say he hosts that show with Jomo. First time on the show we could speak his words. Welcome to the Buzz, Christian Rosenberg. For the second time rewind, bring her back, not a repeat. The universe goes crazy. Prepare to share and retweet. Back up on the couch. It's Katarina Leigh, preparing the world for Katarina's infamy. I'm GQ Money, you can call me Ryan Katz. It's AfterBuzz TV, and bing, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
Where it's at. Right. Where it's at.
Nice job.
January 28th, Monday Night Raw, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Raw Roulette. And we're here rocking another AfterBuzz TV After Show recap. And we got the crew. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Christian, Kat, welcome back, Kat. Christian, welcome to the
Thank
show.
you for having me. I'm very excited. Very excited.
Excited to have you on the show. As mentioned in that little opener, the host of Cut That Promo, a live improv kind of show you do out here in Hollywood.
Yeah, I do like a live comedy show with John Morrison, and we, kind of share different wrestling stories, and then we get other improvisers that come up in the most bizarre wrestling characters they can come up with, and we give them the chance to try to cut a promo, try to impress John, try to intimidate, former Intercontinental Champion. And usually the show ends with me getting my butt kicked in some way.
That sounds fantastic.
Absolutely does. You got one coming up right soon.
February 10th at 11 o'clock at the IO West Theater in Hollywood, California. You can go to west.ioimprov.com to reserve tickets now. It's only $5. Only $5 for that ticket.
Phenomenal.
Bargain.
Yeah. And all of you should go. I probably have a few comp spots available if all you want to get on there. Save you $5.
Yeah.
IO's got a full bar as well. You got to be 21 and up to go. Sorry. I'm sorry, Kat.
We'll be plugging this again at the end of the show, but sounds like a great night of entertainment for any local California, Southern California wrestling fans.
Absolutely.
And Kat is back joining us once again by popular demand. The tweets, the requests, the Facebook messages keep coming in, and she's back on the couch. Welcome to you guys. I saw you guys just last night.
Yes.
It's like it was just yesterday.
Rocking the Rumble. Rocking the Rumble. I went back and watched our recap of the Rumble, and I realized we got so distracted by the restart of the match and the whole predicament that we didn't really say what the finish was last night.
No, we didn't.
With Rock dropping a people's elbow to defeat CM Punk and end the streak. I think we were all kind of surprised that it wasn't a rock bottom and we just got a people's elbow. A comical move to end the 400 and however many days it's been.
Yeah, just an elbow drop really is what it is.
A comical elbow drop.
But iconic.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like equal to the leg drop almost. I mean, the leg drop is almost a 300-pound man dropping down on your neck.
I think the leg drop's more impactful than the leg drop.
And that was really a finish.
And when you do think about it, though, it was the people's elbow that he beat Hogan with.
Right.
Well, So,
But he did like
kind of
3
overtook
rock
the look.
bottoms to Hogan too during
That is also very true.
But
Well, I would have rather not.
Hulkamania we're talking about here.
Yeah, I would have rather not seen a 400+ day historic run end on an elbow drop.
Very
Well,
upsetting.
apparently
That was
some
my
of our
biggest problem.
listeners didn't like our viewpoints. At Darren Kaslick saying the whining on AfterBuzz after the Rumble was sickening. Too predictable. WTF does that even mean? They did the logical thing. I think a lot of the universe, the WWE universe, the Twitter sphere was blowing up that people are upset and aren't really too excited to see Rock versus Cena twice in a lifetime.
I'm a little bit upset. I would have rather seen CM Punk retain.
Yeah?
Yes.
I mean, I was hoping that Rock would win. I just didn't like the way that it ended up turning out. I've been pushing for months now this long-term Rock plan that I think Rock should now hold on to this belt for a year as well until the following WrestleMania. Go to the red carpets, go to his Hollywood sets, and just be sitting there with it. Just makes he's a movie star. He's an
Can you
A-lister.
imagine him show him to the Oscars with the title?
It'd be phenomenal.
That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
It's and that can actually still happen for this year before WrestleMania.
Well,
so that's
Oscars
pretty
are in
cool.
a few weeks,
Is
right?
he up
Yeah.
for something?
No, but I'm sure he's. I mean, I would think he'd show up maybe, or it's worth. It's worth if any of the writers or Raven, go get your writer friends to go listen right now.
He's got 74 movies coming out this year. I mean,
He's got a movie coming out like every month.
Yeah,
Right?
it's crazy.
Well,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
from a publicity standpoint, but don't you agree that from an artistic standpoint that,
Yes.
CM Punk's come so far and he's now really the face, and to have somebody come back who was such an icon, well, he is still an icon, but somebody that's not seen as a, current superstar as much as CM Punk is.
I don't think it
that he
diminishes
needs
CM
it.
Punk,
I
and it
was
just
saying-
builds him for the
doesn't-
next
I
year to
don't think
reach
I don't
Rock-like
think
levels.
I don't think it diminishes CM Punk. I just think it's a little anticlimactic for the end of his run.
I agree.
And I do think
would've-
his promo tonight helped escalate the fact that it didn't diminish. But I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I would have liked it. I mean, if I was writing it myself, Punk would have gone to WrestleMania to face Undertaker, streak for streak.
That would've been great.
And then maybe we could have Undertaker win and retire with the title, and then have some giant tournament to make a new champion.
But we could all play fantasy booker all we want. It's not
Absolutely.
what we get.
We're getting twice in a lifetime.
And we get Raw Roulette from Vegas, starting off with Vicky Guerrero in the back, who introduces that not only do we have not two, but 3 Raw Roulette wheels.
Yeah.
The Wheel of Superstars, the Wheel of Stipulations, and the Vicky's Vegas Challenge wheel.
Vicky seems to have quietly turned babyface,
Oh, you,
doesn't she?
yeah.
Right? A little bit?
It's
Calmer on the excuse me's tonight.
Yeah, not really
I didn't
heelish,
think about that.
kind of very, very calm and was against a bunch of the heels, it seemed.
Go ahead, Kat.
Well, she was sort of turning before a little bit with the whole, John Cena and Dolph, AJ, that whole thing. And then
Oh,
she
yeah.
sort of went back to heel a little bit with the Rock concert
Right.
and stuff like that. So I think she's teetering.
She's teetering, yeah.
Yeah, but she announced that Antonio Cesaro was going to have the first match, and they spun the wheel, and apparently his stipulation was going to be a special guest referee. But we don't go right to that match. Instead, we go to CM Punk, who was incredibly furious, made his way to the ring with a ton of anger.
This was awesome.
This was pretty good.
This was
man.
amazing.
he was kicking the rope.
And I didn't, this is one of the things that, I didn't like the fact that he lost, but this promo we got out of that loss was amazing to me.
Yeah, he brought up the heat. He talked about the fact that he's the real people's champ, and he wasn't really defeated.
And he just
Kicking things on his
kicking
way
things, just
down.
storming down the
Yeah.
ramp.
Ripping signs
Loved
from
it.
fans in the
Loved it.
crowd.
With his hood up, I mean, it was awesome.
And he told the people that Vince screwed him worse than Vince screwed Brett. And this will forever go down in history as the Phoenix Screwjob. Yeah, I mean, this was Punk at his best, man. He says you don't get restarts, you don't get water breaks, and he got screwed. He's the champ, and he's going to crash the party.
And like I said last night, it was illegally restarted. I agree
Vince
with him.
McMahon, chairman, CEO, didn't think that was the case.
Dana White can't go start a matchup.
This
He's
is
got to go to the
World
athletic.
Wrestling
Got to go through
Entertainment,
the athletic commission.
not the Ultimate Fighting Championships. It's a whole different ball game out here, Ryan
we
Clum.
need to get the athletic commissions back involved then.
Well, Vince's music hits. He makes his way to the ring while CM Punk's in the background screaming at Vince, "You're a thief! You're a flesh-peddling promoter!" And
was
just
great.
going
Vince
off on
couldn't
him.
even come out. He tried to do like his little pose, but Punk was just not having anything of it, which I thought was cool. Because who dares interrupt Vince's entrance?
Right.
I thought it was unique. I thought
brilliant.
it was different. Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those situations where you didn't like the finish last night, but where the storyline's going, there's some potential to do something pretty
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah, but it does. Absolutely. This is good. Well, I would have still liked the historic run to have continued.
The historic run is still going to go down in history as the biggest run in the modern era. So
but I agree with Kat. It was a little bit anticlimactic the way they did it.
Vince McMahon states that he's going to have tape later proving that Heyman has conspired with the Shield, and he also announced that there's going to be a contract performance review for Paul Heyman later in the evening. This is starting off the night with a little bit of energy.
A little bit of intrigue.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Crowd's hot. Crowd was hot last night. We got 2 good crowds in a row. I mean, crowds make a show a lot of times. Yeah. So the energy is up, and we got something awesome. And then we start off with the first match of the evening. Apparently a non-title match. Randy Orton versus Antonio Cesaro with The Miz as the special guest referee.
This was a really good match, I thought.
It's always a good match with Cesaro.
Cesaro is incredible.
I love everything Antonio Cesaro does. It's
He's
just
unbelievable.
fantastic.
He can do no wrong.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone give anything negative about
Everybody
Cesaro.
loves him right now. Everybody. He's the darling of, I think, everybody.
Because he deserves it. Like,
does.
There's some times that people become internet darlings, and you're like, they're good, but I don't know what the people are seeing. What is it that they're jumping on? But Cesaro's just got every little bit of tool.
You know
Look,
what?
size, personality.
He just does everything a little bit different in the way he moves his smarmy European Swiss, and then the whole with the United States flag, and then when he does that thing, like when he picked Randy up and the dead weight throw and stuff like that, like you don't really, very.
He's an indie guy with the WWE size, which is kind of rare. You know, you don't really see that very often. So he's that one guy. We're seeing a lot of indie guys being signed right now.
I think we should start changing it from indie guys. Let's start saying indie boys.
Indie boys?
Boys, because most people in the indies come off like boys, not men. Wrestling's a business of men. Men handling business.
Yeah. There's some good ones, though. I actually saw an amazing. I was watching Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Saw a great promo, actually, shockingly. But
in this match, Randy went on a series of European uppercuts in this match that I think may have pissed off Cesaro because he turned it around and hit a series of uppercuts of his own.
Yeah, and you know what they actually said in that, shades of Cesaro, but Orton's been hitting those uppercuts for years. So
shades of Regal, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, has Randy's Power Slam ever been given a cool name or anything?
I don't think so.
If he's got the RKO, I want to turn this Power Slam into the TOB.
They call, what does Cole always say? Vintage Randy Orton when he hits it.
Vintage everyone.
Yeah.
I want to go with the TOB. So he's got the RKO and the TOB. That thing's a thing of beauty, man.
What's this TOB stand for?
It's so good. That Power Slam's beautiful, man.
It is.
Every time he throws that, I mean, he hits that thing perfectly.
Fluid.
Snappy.
It snaps.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just so quick.
Oh, it's awesome.
And he gets so low with it.
And I liked when we saw in one of those matches probably a month ago when someone kind of got out of the way and he still went with the momentum even though there was no one there. So he ended up taking that little turn bump. It was like, it's so quick he can't stop the momentum.
I've tried to do that move. It's not easy to do it the way he does.
No, man.
At all.
It's impressive.
I can't.
Finish of the match comes, essentially shoves Miz away. Cesaro shoved Miz away when they're fighting in the corner. Miz grabs Cesaro. They have a little exchange of words. When finally Miz kind of backs down saying, hey, okay. Cesaro turns around only to get hit with the RKO out of nowhere.
RKO out of nowhere. That's the
full name of the finisher. RKO out of nowhere.
Miz was correct here, though. Cesaro poked him in the eye. He could have DQ'd him right there. Poked him right in front of the referee. That's a possible. You could DQ him.
Randy Orton picks up the 3 count in the win. And once again, these situations, Cesaro always loses in non-title matches and completely dominates and decimates people in title matches. I don't understand that. I guess he doesn't want to put all the effort in if it's not for the championship.
I guess so.
I guess. Miz then hits a skull-crushing finale after the match.
No figure 4. No figure 4 this week.
Thank God.
He's still practicing. He's still practicing.
He may have to go back to wrestling school, spend a few weeks in training before he hooks that right. Because last time it was slipping below the knee. He's got to get that leg jacked up over and lock it in.
Ric Flair gave it to him 2 weeks ago. Did he now take it away after last week? You're like, no, dude, give it back.
Did you see the Ric Flair news in Japan had some health issues? Was supposed to be wrestling in Japan this last weekend. Ended up having some health issues. They wouldn't allow him to compete. Supposedly his leg was really swollen. Some other issues got it, and then he acted as a manager for his son Reed, who became the replacement. So in Japan, you're excited to see Ric Flair take on one of your Japanese homegrown stars.
Was wrestling still.
And then the replacement's Reed, and you're like, what? That's not Ric Flair.
Yeah. Could have been David.
You probably better Reed than David.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Miz had a like an underhanded move there, like
that was a little bit heelish then.
Right? Yeah. What's going on with these faces acting like heels?
Well, I mean,
this is 2013.
Miz is an edgy face,
and I don't mind that. I love that. That's what I crave. But don't pander to the audience, Miz. That hasn't been your thing all the time. But I like the direction he's going in. I'll say that right now.
I wish we got a zoom in of his face right when he...
I like that. Josh entertains me. I love Josh. Ryback spins the wheel and he lands on the Make Me Laugh challenge. Yeah,
that in itself was pretty funny.
Right, that was the funniest part of the segment.
I thought Ryback's joke was actually funny. I laughed.
You laughed at his joke in the ring?
Yeah, when he was going to beat the guys up for some
Four
reason.
eyes, 20 arms and legs, and is about to go unconscious. That made you laugh.
It actually made me laugh. I was like,
20 arms and legs.
All right.
Way to write that one down.
Maybe because
use that for a show with Ryan. He'll be entertained for hours.
I don't know why, but it made me laugh. Maybe because I enjoyed the fact that he was just going to beat a couple people up.
A joke off. Ryback, Primetime Players, Stryker hosting it up. Primetime Players come out with the joke. Titus O'Neil says, "What did the woman say when Stryker asked her out?" And Darren Young answered with,
I ain't got time for that.
And maybe that's why I laughed, because that joke was so bad that anything is better than that.
I mean, they're playing off of a YouTube skit that was popular 6 months ago. So
I don't even know.
It's a famous catchphrase. It was Sweet Georgia Brown, something like that.
I honestly didn't know it was a YouTube.
She's a YouTube girl. She was talking about how
fire. There was a fire.
Yeah, there was a fire in the neighborhood. And ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that's what that whole thing's based on. In the end, Ryback decides to attack the Primetime Players, gets the offense in on Titus O'Neil, throws him in the shell shock. See you later, Primetime Players.
And then he attacks Stryker.
He did attack Stryker. I forgot about that.
Another heelish move, though.
Yes, but you know what? This is Ryback, and he is an uncontrollable force.
Well, he's
not
a
face,
robot.
Not a heel. Chaotic neutral.
And you can tell JBL really doesn't like Matt Stryker, because anytime he gets beat up, he's just...
It's like, this is the greatest day of my life. Yeah. It's my birthday.
Talking about Stryker, yesterday I mentioned the pre-show commentary team was Matt Stryker. I found out that Tony Dawson is a new commentator who was Stryker's
partner. The one that you really liked.
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. You could follow him at Not Tony Dawson online. New guy down at NXT, being brought up for some main roster exposure on the pay-per-view pre-show. He's very good. He's trying to get his 100th follower. He's new to the Twitter universe as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get
if you guys go over and follow him, tell him where you learned about him. Tell him that we sent you over there. Either I Am Smiley sent you over there, or AfterBuzz sent you over there. So you get some followers, then he gives us some love, and we give him some love back, and then we all play nice with the WWE universe.
And if he only has 100 followers, that means he'll definitely read your thing.
Oh, he followed me earlier. So Bob Backlund Hall of Fame package. We get to see about the storied career of Bob Backlund. This is pretty exciting. You got like a baby face like Bob Backlund a little bit.
When I started out in the business, everyone, like when I was first reffing, I came out and people were chanting Backlund.
I see it. I didn't dawn on me until I'm just looking at you now.
My hair's a little longer looking down. It's either Backlund or Opie. Or now, like I was saying, if I had a goatee, I'd be a whiter Sheamus.
No, you're Bob Backlund to me now.
I'm definitely most Backlund. I'm definitely most Backlund.
I love Bob Backlund.
I look like a Hall of Famer.
I grew up in Connecticut, and he used to be at all the amateur wrestling tournaments, the state tournaments and stuff. Used to see him there all the time, supporting amateur wrestling. He's a great guy.
When the package ended, we went and saw the commentary table, and sneaking up in the viewpoint behind Jerry Lawler, we got Raven Travis Berry, Mr. Truth is Scary, just sitting there snapping some pictures.
Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he's sitting right
behind Lawler.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back and watch it. I was watching at home.
Yeah, I would love to see the picture he took of the camera.
I'm sure it'll be up.
It's
and it'll be
probably-
tweeted.
I'm sure it's already on our page. He put a bunch of stuff up on our Facebook page from
the pictures he
the
took
Rumble,
last night. Sweet. Next segment in the back, Player's Choice. Wade Barrett spins the wheel, and we find out that he gets to choose his opponent for the evening. Who do you think he's going to pick?
The guy who eliminated him last night.
Son of a gun, you're clever, man.
By Jove, he got it.
Man,
I
Bo
wonder how I
Dallas
figured that out.
Indie boys.
made his debut on in the Rumble, makes his Raw debut tonight. Gotta say, a little bit sloppy.
So he got no reaction. Like
No.
with that hot crowd and getting nothing out of it.
You know, at the Rumble, he had no reaction on the intro because people were confused. You know, it's
Sure.
a newcomer, they didn't know. But by the end of his performance, people were impressed. He stayed in there for a while. He made some eliminations, eliminated a crucial
it was
person
his
in Barrett.
Maven moment. It
Yeah.
was the Maven moment.
Absolutely. And actually, people were chanting, "Let's go, Bo," during that moment. Didn't work out that way tonight.
It was a pay-per-view. The crowd may not have seen it
Right
last
from
night,
the opening lockout, and I'm not blaming him that he did something wrong, but his foot slipped, so there was just something going on there. And then he hits a belly-to-belly suplex that was...
It looked almost like, I was saying, it looked like a modified
Power
amateur lateral drop almost.
I love laterals. That's one of my favorite
it was one of my
wrestling moves.
favorite wrestling moves, too. And I actually was just talking with somebody about that and saw that. I was like, oh, I guess that's how to do it.
But shockingly, in a short period of time, Bo Dallas with the win over our Intercontinental Champion, Wade Barrett.
Yeah, I guess it's like a kind of a 1, 2, 3 kid type situation, but I mean, maybe
Another
maybe
champion,
that's what they're
yeah.
trying to do.
Yeah, they're really pushing the NXT guys pretty hard. They're all getting pushes when they come in.
I love that they're doing that.
I do
I mean,
too.
I always say the only way to build a star is to build a star.
And they're protecting them all. The Shield really haven't wrestled, but they're just beating the crap out of everyone.
I just love Wade Barrett. I don't want to see him lose to anybody.
I mean,
You're going to see over the next 3 weeks a tournament on main event for Wade Barrett's Intercontinental title. They're trying to build to the #1 contender, which is another interesting thing.
That's a good
we've-
show, main event.
great show.
I agree.
Best show they got right now.
Yeah.
It would be probably considered their C show at this point,
But the best
they,
match is usually the best match of the week is on that show usually.
it's usually like a 20-minute
Yeah.
long match. We get to see people wrestle. It's got great storyline build. They do nice behind the personality promo packages for each guy. Definitely a show worth checking out on Ion if you haven't seen it yet.
Miz is on commentary there and does a really good job.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I can imagine that would be. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's
Really good.
just a 1 hour show. So yeah, it's definitely worth that. And Saturday Morning Slam are almost the two best shows right now, and NXT.
Did you know that John Cena not only won the Royal Rumble last night, but he is now appearing on the box cover of Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, eliminating Fred Flintstone from the cover for the first time ever, and we got to see a Fred versus Cena tale of the tape.
That's the Mania match I want to see. I want to see someone come out as Fred Flintstone.
John Goodman versus John
Do
Cena
it.
right
Do it.
there.
That would be good. That would make a good DVD
Was Rick
extra.
Moranis Barney?
Yeah.
Have him be accompanied by Barney?
And then it was a Baldwin in the sequels. Stephen Baldwin, I think, was one of the
yeah.
Baldwins
Oh,
as well.
Now, does Rock get a cut of this? He was the one who coined the term. He came up with
Probably
it.
not.
I have a feeling he may take a
he
little
probably does. He probably does.
Rock's a smart businessman, dude.
I doubt he does, but he was probably given a nice gift.
That could be so.
There was probably a nice
Personal gift from
I'm
Cena.
sure Cena sent him a very nice gift.
Thank you for making me an extra $1 million.
Nice car or something like that. Yeah.
Rock bought his mom a car recently for what was it, for Christmas?
No.
Bought his mom an Escalade, I believe. Yeah. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Match to go right now. Right from the get-go, Cody after the first bit of offense. Got Cena with a drop kick from the get-go.
What offense? This is a squash. Cody got one kick in.
And then Cody rolled out of the ring, got on the mic and said, "This is a waste of time for Cody Rhodes. I'm leaving." Cena brought him back in, hits him with the 5 moves of doom.
Yep.
And this one's over.
Yeah, and it was a full-on squash.
It was
Cody
2
got
minute squash. 2 minute squash.
Cody got no offense, and he got one kick. That was it.
But then John Cena got the microphone. Were we going to get Captain Poopy, or were we going to get a serious Cena on the road to WrestleMania?
We got serious Cena.
What'd you think?
I thought it was a really good promo.
We got boring chance.
Yeah, no, well, we got Cena sucks chants.
And they were boring chants too.
I didn't hear the boring chants. Okay.
But when he started talking about he was going to go after The Rock, everybody was like, boring.
He said we're in Vegas, so we got to analyze the odds because today I'm going to make that decision of which champion I'm going to go after for the main event of WrestleMania. And he says when you look at it, in the last 6 times he's wrestled CM Punk, he hasn't been able to complete the job, hasn't been able to get the job done. Same thing with The Rock, wasn't able to get the job done last year. So odds would state he's better off going after Alberto Del Rio because he'll have an easier time defeating him. Mm-hmm. But he says nope. He's going after that WWE Championship, and we were all shocked.
He's a fighter.
I really thought he was going to choose Del Rio. I really did.
He wants to challenge.
He was like, I'm going to go the easier route. What? Like, if he said that, that would have been the biggest pop of the night.
It would have been.
I did like, though, in the beginning, he did kind of allude to the fact that nobody wanted to see him win. You know,
he made reference to that.
He kind of alluded to the reference.
He said to the crowd, I could tell by these cheers that most of you guys didn't have me as the winner.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him do that before when the crowd's really been booing him, that he sort of makes a joke with that. And I think that's very smart, that he does that rather than just ignore the fact that he's being booed. He sort of, he plays with it a little bit, and it gets him over a little bit more, I think.
Well, his promo was interrupted by the Shield. Came down to the ring, started the beat down on Cena. Mm-hmm. Triple, wolf pack mentality. They all made the attack. Cena was trying to fight it off, but once again, the numbers were too much for him. Finally, Sheamus comes out and makes the save. Looks like Sheamus was going to help him out, but once again, Shield back on the attack, able to get control.
Good stuff.
Ryback to make the save.
Feed me more.
Once again, Ryback wasn't enough, though, because the Shield was able to take Ryback and throw him, crashing him into the stairs.
Yeah, and it was great, too. He took 2 guys out, and then Roman, because he took the Ambrose and Rollins out, but then Roman got him and, pushed him up against the ropes. So the other 2 could grab his legs and trap him. So I thought that was a great move by Roman.
That was a great spot.
Yeah. They were righting the wrong that they did a week or 2 ago on Raw, where those 3, I think
last time Kat was here and she was complaining about it.
Yeah, it was Orton instead of Cena, but the 3 of them just clear the ring, and it was you just crushed him. You just crushed the Shield.
Perseveres, ends up hitting the triple power bomb on John Cena, and I was just wondering, is Cena going to have that same internal damage that The Rock had?
But nobody else came out.
No.
Because Randy sometimes comes out and fights him. This time, it was only 3 again.
Did you mention Sheamus into the post?
I didn't mention in the post, no, but we went back and replayed that as well.
And it looked really good.
And I always think this, but JBL mentioned and said they have an incredible ability to stay 3-on-1, and that's one of the things I love about the Shield.
They do, because the
way they do that is great.
The minute one of them is taken apart and someone's getting the best of them, the other 2 are able to just even, and it's not even up the odds.
Yeah,
change the odds.
It's so realistic the way they do it.
It's like
those guys are great. Yeah, it's crazy the way they are all. There's so much energy, just one's on top of the other. It's great.
Today was the first time I wasn't bothered by the rapid cameras.
I like the rapid cameras.
It was okay for me today.
Yeah, and then the 3 guys who have yet to have a singles match, they took out the 3 top baby faces.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
They've had one match, right?
Only together as a team. They've never had a singles match.
Yeah,
they just had the one TLC
pay-per-view.
Yeah,
but that's smart. They're protecting him and bringing him in slowly. And
if this was SmackDown, Booker T would have come out and made a main event for later this evening.
They would have sent Teddy Long out for him.
Next segment, we go to the back. The wheel is spun. And we find out that we're going to see a lingerie pillow fight, expecting the Divas to put on the lingerie, but the camera pulls out, and we find out it's going to be Tensai and Brodus Clay.
And we're in hour 2 now, I believe.
Correct. Yes. I'm sorry.
Cena started hour 2.
Cena did start hour 2.
Promo, yeah.
So with that said, if that's the case, if you guys enjoy listening to us here on AfterBuzz TV, head on over to iTunes where you can rate and comment. Go ahead and tell your friends, leave some comments, give us some criticism, whatever it takes. It only takes a minute. Pop the 5-star rating. We'll appreciate it very much. Yeah.
I'll tell you, when they did the. Go ahead and I guess talk about this for
the lingerie pillow fight.
Yeah, they got me because when I saw the lingerie pillow fight, I went, "Oh my God, no way!" I was angry, and that's what it was Tensai, and I was like, "Oh, this is great, this is funny."
Yeah,
so they definitely got me.
And then when they switched it, I was like, "No, I wanted the lingerie pillow fight." So I was like,
Tensai was
and them.
Tensai was angry about it. He said, "No, I'm a monster. I can't." I actually thought he was going to steal the yes no Daniel Bryan Kane stuff because he was like, "No, I'm a monster," and he storms off, and then they decide to respin the wheel, and it ends up with the dance-off.
Because Vicky is under review, or because McMahon's doing the reviews, and she is not going to allow that to happen.
Gotcha.
Is what she said. So they spin the Vicky wheel.
Well, Brodus tells Vicky that, hey, I'll tell Tensai there's been a switch, and we're going to make this a dance-off. But that doesn't happen because when we come back to the ring, Tensai's there in a bathrobe. Brodus Clay is in his sweatsuit. I think Tensai's expecting that Brodus has some lingerie under that. And it's time for Tensai to reveal. And he was in some lingerie.
Yeah, and
It was hilarious.
And we've been saying for weeks we want them to move Tensai into the comedy role, and I thought this was great.
Tensai's pissed that he wasn't made aware of the change, to which Brodus replied with a, my bad. And then they have a dance-off. Brodus does his dance with the Funkadactyls, and then when it's Tensai's time to dance, he's a little hesitant.
And you're waiting for him to bomb.
And Brodus is telling him, just give me a foot tap. Just give me the foot tap. And then he starts breaking out with the little, I don't even remember, body wave.
Because he was it the hip-hop-hippopotamus?
Hip-hop-hippo.
Hip-hop-hippo,
I
yeah.
don't remember the hip-hop-hippo.
Really?
He was actually
teamed with
adorable
Scotty.
in the segment.
Yeah.
Scotty
Yeah,
Too
with
Hotty
Scotty
briefly.
Too Hotty.
But like I was telling, I really think that's going to end up now because they got nothing to do with Brodus. They got nothing to do with Tensai. They're going to team them up. And that's going to be a new tag team.
It would be okay. So
It would be fun.
Funny moment as all this is going on, Cole's on commentary just saying, this is god-awful. And then they go to the back, and Ron Simmons is just staring at the
that was
TV
great.
and gives his, damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Tensai grabs a robe and puts it over his head
Walks
and walks
out
out
in
in
shame.
shame.
It was like made even funnier because Tensai was so adorable. Like the shame on his face was, it wasn't overacted. It was just so real
Yeah.
and just so cute. And he kept trying to pick the wedgies out of it.
And then when he didn't want to do it, remember they said, just remember we're in Vegas, and whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like,
You promise?
You promise?
You promise, Jerry?
Yeah, all the 3 million people watching will not remember.
You know, about 2-3 months ago, we talked about on this show, is there any way to repackage Tensai and make him interesting to the people?
And it was at the Slammies, it was when he came out with the thing on his head that we're like, oh, he was so funny.
And then you see him in the background of skits just doing funny stuff. Tensai, funny in promos and aggressive in the ring, I think is the way to go. Keep him a monster in the ring, let him do his thing, but everywhere outside, you show this personality, you got a guy who's a star.
Yeah, that works. I mean, it was a little different, but you had Eugene, who was kind of the special guy and would do funny things on the outside, but when he got in the ring, he was almost a killer.
Yeah, but one gripe with tonight, there was no official result.
On any of these segments.
And Tensai deserved it. He did a really good job tonight.
I actually
They didn't want Tensai to actually win something for the first time in months.
I think that's what the problem was, because if they would have gone to a crowd response, it wouldn't have been Brodus getting the win. It would have been Tensai getting that, and that's not what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Next matchup, I guess you'd call it a matchup. We spin the wheel again. Del Rio spins the wheel, and he lands on the Body Slam Challenge. So we're thinking, we were all pretty stupid right here, because I think a lot of us were like, oh, it's going to be Khali. No, it's going to be the guy he's feuding with, Big Show. They go to the ring. It doesn't start with the Body Slam Challenge. Big Show just starts with some offense.
And I love the fact that he took out Del Rio and then he went after Rodriguez, because Ricardo was a big part of him losing last night with the duct tape.
Yeah, he threw Ricardo into the railing. He beeled him out of his sport coat or his tuxedo jacket.
Cool. That was great.
I really thought when Del Rio said in the back to Vicky, you know, like in Vegas, anything can happen. I thought at that point Ricardo was going to body slam him.
Have you looked at his physique?
Yes, but anything can happen in Vegas. Anything.
Oh, with the help of Chris Angel, maybe.
They could put Big
They
Show
weren't
on a
far.
string. Yeah.
He's appeared in WWE before.
Yeah, this I thought this was a great segment with Big Show taping up Del Rio to the rope.
The duct tape comes out again, and to all you people online, it's D-U-C-T, not D-U-C-K when you send the tweets.
The more you know.
And we one thing we learned is Big Show does not know how to wrap duct tape, because he was going one way around the rope, then just around the wrist, then around the rope, then around the wrist, instead of the other way around the rope.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So when he got his hand around the rope, right? You go wrist to rope. Then the second time you go around, he was just wrapping the wrist, not the rope at all. So it wasn't a super tight.
The Colonel's nickname may change to BDSM.
Yeah, who have you been taping up?
Well, I mean, look at it. He was putting a bracelet of tape around his
show
wrist.
after this.
I think he may have just taken an embarrassing moment of the night from you, Josh.
What are you talking about?
I mean, just because you're into bondage and
Just
stuff.
because I'm into bondage, he was wrapping it around his wrist and not tying him to the ropes. He was supposed to be tying him to a rope, not just tying it around his wrist.
Ryan the Colonel likes bondage.
It doesn't take a genius to look and see, well, you need to actually tie the wrist to the rope, not just wrap the wrist.
Right,
But it was tied to the rope, though, effectively.
Yeah.
He couldn't get out.
Go back and watch it.
Well,
Go
but
back
it
and watch
was,
it.
yes, but it was attached to the rope, is what I'm saying.
It was, but then the second going around was just wrapping. That wasn't doing
You were
anything.
just waiting for him to take out a whip.
You want to make an X.
Wait for the end of the broadcast when we do plugs and Colonel promotes his dungeon party that's going to be going on Thursday night.
Well, but I did have a similar gripe, actually, with the segment.
I thought you were going to say a similar experience. But
No, me being a little anal, but my gripe was that Alberto Del Rio kept like tugging at it like this, but never actually tried to unpeel the duct tape as he was, because that would, and the time that the Big Show took with Ricardo, he could have been free by.
Didn't work last night in the last man standing situation because the 10 count there wasn't enough time to wrap. But while he was beating up Ricardo
way better than Big Show
and throwing Ricardo into the guardrail, plenty of time for Del Rio to start working on it. But Big Show comes back in, tapes him some more, and then hits that WMD, knocks out Alberto Del Rio.
Is it still a WMD or is it the KO punch? Because they keep.
Do they switch the name a lot?
I have no idea. I think it's the WMD, but a lot of people say the KO
What
punch.
does the WMD mean?
Weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah. I was hoping we were going to see a Hurricane Rio, but we didn't get one today.
Yeah, no.
I like the term.
Yeah, you know what? It made me think of just like bodies laying afterwards after the Big Show, almost like the end of an episode of Dexter, with the guy fighting when he finally stabs him. That's what it kind of felt like to me, like it was almost an assassination of Del Rio.
I'm curious what that punch feels like.
I don't know.
He's got a lot of meat on there.
It's got to be. It's got to hit. It's got to.
I mean, that's a big. It's got to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That thing's got to just. I can imagine.
I mean, even if you just tap it there, I mean, just take a brick and just do that.
I think his fist would probably cover almost my whole entire face.
Yeah.
Not as powerful as a Hugh Jackman punch, but close.
He's got that real steel power right there.
Right?
Speaking of real steel, Robot Wars with Chris Jericho coming to the Sci-Fi Network very soon. Caitlyn versus Tamina in a Vegas Showgirl Lumberjill matchup.
Your favorite diva in the history of divas,
she's
right,
awesome.
Caitlyn?
Yeah.
With 6 Lumberjills. Because there's only 6 girls
left on the roster.
And dressed up more Bollywood than Vegas Showgirls.
But they had the Vegas Showgirl hats.
They had the hats. They had the feathers.
I have a random question for you. When you were like, in the locker room, and they said, okay, you got to be part of this match where you have to wear, whether it's a Halloween costume or whatever it is. What was like the attitude back there with all the girls? Like, were you guys like angry you had to do that? Like, dress in one of those costumes, or?
I would say half the girls are like trashy lingerie costumes. Yeah.
I'm just like, and I'm trying to think like, what's the mindset of them? All right, this is how I'm going to be on TV tonight.
Well, it depends what it is, because Halloween costumes were cool, but then, if I had to wear one of those yellow, green, pink skirts that we're wearing tonight with the weird, I'm not sure I would.
Doesn't match your fashion sense.
It doesn't exactly match my non-existent fashion sense.
And Caitlyn goes for the cover in this match, and then all of the divas come into the ring.
And there was no end.
Tamina's
no one won.
Tamina's hanging out on the outside. Caitlyn's hanging out on the outside. Everyone's confused, just waiting for the stage manager.
And did you notice Oksana then attacked her on the outside very briefly?
Oh yeah. She's like, all right, get off, man.
And then her music, and then Caitlyn's music played for whatever odd reason. It made no sense.
And there was no bell ring or anything to
This
even
was
signal the end of it.
3 straight matches that had no result. The dance-off, the body slam challenge, and the lumberjill.
And did you notice the announcers were apologizing for this? They're like, we swear it'll get better.
Cole was like, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, they all were.
Despite these non-finishes, though, the show is entertaining. So it may not be the best wrestling going on right now. Kat may think that it was a little childish in what's been going on, but I was smiling through most of this.
This segment was the only segment of the show that I disliked. just because of the non-finish. I thought it was silly, and I thought they could actually, and this could have been okay.
And as we speed through this broadcast, I mean, we're heading into hour number 3 already at this point.
We're rocking through.
And speaking of rocking through,
Not a
it's
whole lot of
time for
matches
The
to talk
Rock.
about.
That was a segue you just gave
Yeah,
right
I
there,
did.
Ryan.
I totally meant to do that too.
The Rock comes out on a promo and says, we got one word that really sums up this whole entire evening, and that word is finally.
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 Oh my God, that was
yours is
terrible.
We don't get to say it.
You ruined the pattern.
You totally killed it.
The moment
You killed it. You
go.
finally sucked.
Finally.
Not bad.
Finally.
Josh, yours was the worst.
What am I supposed to do?
You're like, finally.
Go back and watch yourself tomorrow. You're going to be ashamed of yourself.
Go to your room. I'm going to your room.
Sick, okay?
We'll give you one more chance.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Hey.
Josh.
It's cool to curse, okay? We're doing The Rock tonight.
Why is it always you?
Punk-ass bitch right now.
I'm doing The Rock. It's cool to curse. Finally. Right?
Better.
What's with
Better.
the growl?
I don't know. Because I'm
It's finally. Is what he said.
Finally.
Finally.
Finally, guys. Finally.
He says that it's time to usher in a new era, and this is the people's era.
But we already had the people's.
We had people power recently,
Yeah,
but we are
yes,
returning
yes.
back from many years ago.
And you would think, though, new era, you would think maybe the new title.
Would think so.
Yeah.
There were
that would be
rumors
nice.
online today that said
were there?
maybe they were going to debut a new title tonight. Rock deserves his own championship.
Bring
He
back
didn't
the
get it.
Smoking Bull.
The Smoking Bull.
Remember that?
Well, I
The
think
smoking
CM
skull?
Punk would have deserved his own.
I agree.
Right, his own straight edge.
You would have thought he should have gotten his own
championship
belt.
with the cross and everything.
After a
like
year,
that.
they should
I
have
think
given
everyone
him
thought that at the
one.
anniversary show, whether it was the 1000th Raw or the 20th anniversary, that those were perfect opportunities to
Debut a new
gift
title.
CM Punk a new title.
The 20th anniversary wasn't even really a special show. So.
Right.
By the way, we were told to read up the Be a Star campaign because apparently the chat room says we're bullying Josh.
And despite the name
sorry,
calling,
Josh.
it's apparently anti or don't call anyone names weeks from the lesbian, gay,
I'm not a star,
transsexual
so
community.
I'm going to bully him. I'm a heel.
As all this is going on with The Rock, CM Punk comes out and essentially, and goes off saying that.
And cuts another fantastic, amazing, incredible promo.
In 20 years, you will all call me a genius. You're just too stupid to realize that now.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
Loved it.
He brought prestige to the title. He's the guy who made it meaningful. And then Rock said, well, if you want it, come on in here and take it.
But then Punk responded by saying,
All right, it was you could either Rock said you could either stay on the stage and be a punk ass bitch,
Or you can come in here and take it like a man.
Take it.
Take it like a man.
And then CM Punk responded as he started walking
all the
down.
house shows.
And he comes back and he's like, well, I'm going to stand on the stage like a punk ass bitch because apparently it's cool to swear.
I thought that was great.
And he said he's going to do this match on his terms, and it's not going to be CM Punk asking for a rematch. It's in fact going to be The Rock being granted a rematch with CM Punk, who still views himself as the valid and current WWE champion.
He's still best of world
and it could be Friday in Chattanooga, Tennessee,
Yes.
or Saturday in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah, and essentially saying that I'm the guy who carries this company. I'm at house show
Yeah.
3-4 times a week. You come in here every once in a while, you get the glory on TV, but you're not there for the fans, despite what you say. You're not there at the shows that the people pay to see. Pay to see you.
And they handed the
I'll
title
work
to, and
around
they
your
said
schedule.
they handed the title to him as well, just like everything else in his career.
Punk also talked about the fact that The Rock should just do the right thing and step on through the ropes and hand him that title back, saying, "That's right, you were screwed and you deserve this championship, CM Punk."
And that's when he
third-generation
said
blood. Yeah, if that third generation blood is saying anything to you, and you worry about your grandfather and your father, you should come down like, ooh.
Yeah. And then that's when The Rock
Sorry,
said,
Mr.
"Come on
Punk,
down."
Here you
then.
go.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because The Rock, who was like the best talker in the business, like ever in the world ever, and now CM Punk I think is better than him.
I agree.
He's amazing on the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why I love CM Punk? Because he's so logical. Like everything he says, even if it's as a heel, is right. He's right almost all the time.
He's logical. He's cerebral. He's meticulous. He's calculating. I mean, the guy's got his stuff down.
He just twists everything.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. He's just so smart.
Yeah, when the truth is
Almost
on your
like if
side,
Bobby
it's
Heenan
easy,
could wrestle.
Easier. Yeah, yeah.
The truth shall set you free, Josh. I know. Sheamus versus Damian Sandow in a tables match, and we see a graphic that says we're only 69 days away from WrestleMania. Sheamus' birthday today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You did it.
Happy birthday.
Big thing of this match, they teased a lot of table spots. They set up tables on both sides on the outside of the ring. Had some tables leaned up against the apron. Tables all over the place.
Yeah.
Finally,
Never knew how it was going to end.
Sheamus picks up Sandow, sets him up into white noise, and goes through the corner. I always hate the corner tables. I hate when they're leaned up. This was a pretty good one.
I loved it. Yeah.
This was match of the night.
Yeah, I was happy.
Yeah.
You know, Sheamus is one of those guys that always seems to have amazing matches too. You know, you can say what you want about his character and not liking promos in the shtick. Everyone you put him in the ring with, it's good. I mean, you've been seeing a lot of Sheamus Wade Barrett that's been amazing.
He knows who he is in the ring.
Sheamus Cesaro has been very
great.
Great matches. And that was that one. Yeah, Zack Ryder, Great Khali, Natty, Hornswoggle.
Oh, for karaoke.
This was a low point.
This is a low point
for me.
It's tough. It's one of
Because
those
you hated when they made Khali sing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, this is brutal for me because, you know, I want to say bad stuff because I hate the segments and I don't like anything really about Khali, but, you know, if
You
I'm
feel
in
they're making fun of him when
and if I'm in the back, then Khali's going to be like, why don't you like me? I think they do make fun of him, but they told him that he was going to sing HBK's theme song. They put the lyrics up on the Titantron.
And he said all the wrong words.
He's not even reading it.
And he's the only one they made sing.
Yeah, and then 3MB interrupts it.
Natty did one little background.
Yeah, she did. She gave a sexy voice.
Yeah, it actually sounded good.
She did sound all right.
I was like, wow.
She had a nice tone.
Go Natty.
She has a second job as well at WWE.
Oh, does she?
She is the backstage interviewer on Saturday Morning Slam as a face.
Interesting. I'm good for her.
And speaking of 3MB, I have to admit, and I realized tonight, I now have to admit that I am definitely a 3MB fan because as I was fast forwarding through a commercial, you know, you get the little just a screen grab here and there. Just a screen grab quick with 3MB. I went, ooh, and rewound. What was that? And it was just a commercial with their 1 second, but it made me rewind to see what 3MB was.
If we get you some fancy Rockstar tights, maybe you could be an honorary member of 3MB.
I hate the fact that I like 3MB.
Hey, I like them too. They've grown on me.
They've totally grown on me. Yeah, they've totally grown on me.
I think after all the skills he's been sharing with us, we should get him some demolition gear. That's what he needs.
That's the BDSM, baby.
Say really again, Josh.
What's that?
3MB says, we are 3MB.
Be a star. Come on.
And we are music. This broke down to a fight. Khali hit the chops on everyone. Hits the Ryder, hits the Rough Rider. Hornswoggle hits the splash. Everyone goes home really happy. Yay!
Oh, and this was where Cole kept saying, you should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassed. He said it like 4 times. It was pretty funny.
You know, it's not embarrassing. What the return for Chris Jericho was like last night.
Booyah, man.
Crowd went crazy.
Amazing.
Loudest they were all night.
Jericho's back on TV tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Supposedly they hit him in a bus right up until his entrance. Nobody had any idea he was there.
Yeah. Ends up in the ring. Dolph Ziggler, Biggie Langston, and AJ. Biggie in new gear interrupting with the short shorts.
A little shorter than
Lashley
usual.
light.
Little crotch huggers. Yeah. Rocking the crotch huggers comes to the ring. They have a little exchange between Jericho and Dolph because remember it was Dolph who beat Jericho, sending him packing from WWE 6 months ago, and it was AJ who set up the stipulation for that match. It was Money in the Bank versus career.
And I like how AJ apologized to Dolph for it. That was a nice little. I don't know if that was an ad lib or if that was written, but that was good.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm just excited because because probably both of them will be in a chamber, so this could build up to a Mania match, and that would be like this show stealer match right there.
Yeah, could be.
Could be.
Vicky gets on the mic, says she does. You know, she didn't come out obnoxious with you. Excuse me, like you said, potential face turn because it wasn't to piss the people off. It was actually giving them something they wanted. Says she does what's right for business. spins the wheel for a match between the two of them, saying, you guys want a match? I'm going to give it to you. And they land on Strange Bedfellows. She says, with that being said, I'm going to give you a match against the strangest bedfellows of all of WWE, Team Hell No. And we get Ziggler and Jericho versus Team Hell No.
Can I just mention that I really enjoyed Jericho's promo? I thought
Yeah,
it was
I did too.
It came back and it was like really fresh, and because I really liked him when he came back as a heel, so I was like, I was a little bit sad when he's not a heel, but I thought it was really on point. So.
He did something. He said something funny.
He did his.
But the big E,
I fooled you.
and
I
he
fooled you
was
guys.
like,
Fooled you.
Yeah.
I liked the thing when he said the big E.
He's big, and he's got an E in his name.
You got an E.
You're big with an E.
What does that stand for? Oh, you're wrong.
And he did some of his old school, never.
And then Biggie got on the mic and gave one line, and we all, when the line ended, went, ah! We just all started laughing. We were like, really? That's it?
What was the line again?
I forgot what the line was. We just said something about
you'd better leave.
Yeah, you
or
better
You
leave.
should leave.
Yeah.
He's like a bouncer in an Applebee's.
I still think they need to find something better for Big E. I do not like him with Ziggler.
I don't like it.
It doesn't make sense to me. It makes no sense.
To me, he seems like with the color of his gear, he should be like Kofi's big brother, and then that's another team.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, again, another
You're
tag
right.
team with Kofi.
He does do the Jamaican thing, but Kofi doesn't really do the Jamaican
Not
thing
anymore.
But
He's
you
African.
could
He's
mix them up.
African, not Jamaican.
He's from
Yeah,
Ghana
no, but
now.
they used to do a Jamaican gimmick with him.
But they used to.
They used to. No, I know that.
And then they revealed that was all just BS.
No,
'cause
I
he's
know.
not from Jamaica.
That's what I'm saying.
That was what they call a gimmick.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Big E is Jamaican. Big E's from Jamaica.
Gotcha.
He's actually Jamaican.
That's why he's got the Jamaican
That's why he's got the
lion.
Jamaican stuff,
He's
yeah.
got the lion. Maybe he should get Snoop Lion with him to come out to the ringside area. Him, Brodus, and Biggie can make a little faction.
I just think his gear makes him look dated a little bit.
Big E?
Yes, and hence he doesn't fit into the AJ Dolph cutting edge sort of modern.
I feel he's just jammed in there, and they're trying to figure something out
What
with
to do
him.
with him.
Yeah. It's not the right spot for him.
During the match, Team Hell No gets in an argument to the point where Kane pushes Daniel Bryan. So we got some animosity between Team Hell No after last night when
Maybe they'll,
Kane wouldn't help Daniel Bryan return, put him back in the ring.
Maybe they'll split up in Tensai, and Brodus will be the new kind of comedy team that everyone loves.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Dolph makes a blind tag on Jericho, comes to the ring. As Jericho realizes he was tagged out, he gives a shove to Kane to kind of rile up the monster.
A little slap on the back, yeah.
Dolph was distracted at that point, dealing with Jericho, who decided to leave the match and walk up the entryway.
See, I was distracted too. I didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
Like,
The,
I was
the
kinda
camera
like,
didn't
why
show
is
Jericho
he...
walking away.
Right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not stupid. That's what it was.
Did not say that. Don't you put words in my mouth.
Come on,
You
man.
helped me out. I appreciate it.
Be a star. Why are you calling her
but
stupid?
that's-
What are you calling Kat stupid for?
No, he
Wow.
was defending me.
Well, guys,
He
this was a great first
defending me.
show.
And then when Ziggler was no longer distracted, he turns around only to get goozled and chokeslammed by Kane. This one's over.
All done.
Done. And the pyro went off first because Raven's been inaccurate 95% of the time on that thing. So throw that whole.
Raven got a little slam from the show on YouTube last night.
Oh, then he hijacked the broadcast.
Even when he's not there, he hijacks the broadcast.
We get our next nomination for the Hall of Fame, and it's who some would call one of the greatest divas of all time, Trish Stratus.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Trish.
I completely agree. She should go in the Hall of Fame. I still think it's too soon. Like I was.
It's a little early.
In pro sports, they wait 5 years till someone retires. I think WWE should do the same thing.
How many years has it been since Trish?
She just wrestled like a year or two ago at Mania.
It's not as quick as Edge, though. Edge was 9
the
months.
Snooki match doesn't.
Wait,
that Snooki match doesn't count. What was her last?
The Snooki match doesn't count. Yeah, she's been over 5 years.
What was her
right?
last real match?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Wow, but in 5 years
She
flew
was
by.
gone before I went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a regular locker room.
It's been a while, and she's one like I remember her the first time she came out. She cut a promo with TNA, and I was like, how is this girl on TV? She couldn't wrestle, she couldn't talk, and she turned herself into one of the greatest ever. It's unbelievable the transformation that she made.
For those that didn't know, before Trish was in the WWE, she was a model for Muscle Mag International, a Canadian bodybuilding magazine. Let me tell you, she used to have a picture where she's kind of laying on her stomach with her like in a kneeling pose and her butt's up in the air, and like her butt makes like a perfect heart.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I know the photo. I know the photo you're talking about. That was a poster, right?
It could have been.
I think there were a lot of guys who had that poster on their wall.
There's a gleam in his eye.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And with that said, we head out into our final segment of the evening. I mean, we are rocking through this show tonight, and we have the Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman performance review.
That was fantastic.
Really fun moment.
Yes.
Really fun segment. Man. Starts off with some good humor right from the get-go with Heyman wanting to shake Vince's hand. And Vince kind of looks at the crowd and says, "Should I go old school? Should I shake his hand?"
That was so funny. That was funny the way Vince did that.
Pulls out the Purell, wipes it off, knowing that he's got Mr. Heyman's sleazy hands all over him. And puts in a situation of talking about the fact that, hey, he asks him, has Brad Maddox or the Shield ever been under one of your contracts? Heyman says, no, absolutely not. He says, Mr. Heyman, have you ever lied? And Heyman's thinking about an answer. And he says, I'm going to tell you something that I heard from the great, from your father, the great Vincent Kennedy McMahon Sr. in Madison Square Garden. And he says that adversity defines a man's character in his darkest hour. And through all the adversity I'm going through right now, I'm going to tell you, yes, I've lied. I am a liar. I lie every single day of my life because I am a promoter, and that's what promoters do. They lie. And he goes off on a tirade about all of this. It was great. He says we lie to survive. He says I've lied swearing to God. I've lied on my parents' graves. But Mr. McMahon, I swear to you, in this moment right now, I'm not lying. Mr. Heyman
plays a video.
Mr. Heyman, are you an honorable man? And he says, I'm trying, Vince. I'm trying to be an honorable man. Maybe you could teach me to be an honorable man. And then Vince says, get the camera in on this face. And they zoom in on Paul Heyman's chubby cheeks. And he says to the people, is this the face? Is this an honorable face? And the people are going nuts. No. And Vince finally says, well, I've got footage that'll prove that you've conspired with the Shield and Brad Maddox all alone.
And I was waiting for some crappy piece of footage that was like, shady, and you could, like the AJ Cena stuff, it's like, and we got something way different than I was expecting.
Instead, we get footage from supposedly a few weeks ago when they were in Northern California. And we come into the back, and you got Heyman with his arm around Brad Maddox, leading him into a back room.
And we'd seen the beginning of that before, right?
Yep, where he says, "Hey, let's go talk," or whatever.
Make you famous.
Yeah.
Right? And he leads him into the back room, and essentially, Maddox is a little confused. And then Heyman looks at the camera and says, "Shut that off." And the camera turns off, but the audio stays on, because that's how video cameras work.
And then it comes back on. The video comes. And then the cameraman, turned it back on.
His cameraman decided to turn it on.
But one thing he could, he could have just put the lens cap over,
maybe,
and then pulled it off. Or a lot of those cameras actually have lens caps you can just slide. Yeah.
In the end, that's not what happened. It goes back on, and Heyman's talking about the fact, when we pay you for a job, we expect it to get done properly. But in the end, you did what you were supposed to be. You were paid to do what you're supposed to by interfering as the referee in that match. But then you just kept coming back, and you wanted more, and you wanted more.
And and that he was dwindling in NXT, and they pulled him up and made him a referee and got that whole thing going.
Yeah, we pay you to do a job, but the Shield is more effective at doing a job. And all of a sudden
they don't keep coming back for more money.
That's right. And then we see the Shield step into the picture and surround Brad Maddox.
Scary.
Who's intimidated.
And you know what I loved when Maddox started saying, tell Punk I'm sorry. It almost really made me feel like Punk's a godfather, almost.
Oh, yeah, he was talking
like
to him
he's
like
the
that, yeah.
godfather, and that
like it's a mob.
Right, and that Heyman's like his consigliere, and was doing his things for him. When he was going, please tell Punk that. I was like, ooh, this is good.
As Maddox is getting scared, Heyman creepily grabs his face in his hair and says, "You're gonna take this like a man right now. Do the right thing and take it like a man." And the Shield lays the attack on Brad Maddox, and then Roman Reigns kicks the camera.
I thought this was excellent. Yeah.
We come back into the crowd. We come back to the live shot inside the ring, and the crowd's going crazy with the "You got busted." You got busted.
And how is he going to talk his way out of this one?
It wasn't me. It was not me in that video.
Shut it!
The minute he did that, it made me think of, speaking of Raw, Eddie Murphy Raw, when he's talking about the guy gets caught cheating. He goes, "Wasn't me. I saw you. Wasn't me." So that's the first thing I thought of.
He says, "We are in Las Vegas, the land of impersonators, and they must have gotten a Paul Heyman impersonator, and let me tell you, it was a poor job impersonating at that."
He has a New York Jewish accent. Anybody can impersonate that.
And that was not Paul Heyman in the ring. Vince wasn't buying it, though.
No.
Vince wasn't buying it and said, "You know what, Mr. Heyman? I'd like to wish you the best on your future endeavors. And just to make it official, you're..."
Dun, 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 dun. I'm like,
Someone jumped out of their chair in the screening room.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar is back. Steps into the ring, goes nose to nose with Vince McMahon.
And Paul's freaking out at this, saying,
Yeah.
"Don't do it, Brock."
He's saying, Vince, get out of the ring.
Here.
Please get out of the ring, Vince. Don't be in the ring.
Just showing like, okay, he might be Brock's friend, but Brock cannot be controlled.
Yeah.
It's just so great.
Yeah, and just the fear on Heyman, the switch of that fear was amazing.
And Brock's looking around, and Brock's smiling and making a decision what he's going to do. And then he delivers the boot to the belly of Vince McMahon, hoists Vince up on his shoulders, hits him with the huge F5. Vince taking a big bump. Vince goes down, and Brock Lesnar laying out the big boss.
How old is Vince McMahon? Is he 65?
Somewhere
Something
around
like
64,
that?
65, something like that.
For a 65-year-old man to take the F5, that's a
Yeah.
pretty big bump.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
And we are now set. The road to WrestleMania has been established. We got what's going on with The Rock and John Cena for the championship, but now we have the return of Brock Lesnar. We have the return of Chris Jericho. We got some big names coming back heading into this WrestleMania season. It's going to be interesting to see if these matches are going to stick to the predictable nature of what we've heard leaked intended cards to be, or if we're going to spice this up, because you know what? I'd rather see some Rock versus Brock than Rock versus Cena.
Yeah. And we're probably going to take her back here soon, right? Triple H probably.
Yeah. All of them coming.
Yeah.
But like seeing this with
Shawn
Heyman
Michaels
and McMahon.
probably, I would think.
Well, yeah, isn't he?
We'll make like a speaking, like he won't wrestle.
Yeah.
Referee,
He'll
he was
be in
referee
Triple H's
last
corner
year.
or something.
He'll be involved somehow, yeah.
Yeah, didn't he get beat up by Brock Lesnar when Triple H and Rock were doing the first, right?
Yeah, and honestly, you know what I would honestly rather see instead of Triple H Brock? Another thing, you could do. Some people might not like it, but you could do a triple threat: Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H with the storyline they've been doing. You know, you had 2 Shawn Michaels matches against Undertaker, then you had 2 Triple H.
That was the end of an era last year, man.
With the Shawn Michaels as the referee, and they had some things kind of set up where you could do that.
I think they followed their marketing plans, and that was the end of an era.
Yeah.
The second end to an era.
And then the smart fan would say with something like that, well, what if Shawn pinned Triple H? Does Undertaker streak end? It's like going with that deal because then he never lost and all that.
It would no, it wouldn't.
But I don't think
it just wouldn't be a win.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that.
And as Titus O'Neil said, if you're going to make it, you better make it a win.
Yeah.
Make it a win.
Titus wasn't.
Why doesn't he use that line anymore?
They weren't wearing your those new tights today. Those gold tights.
He realized that we were checking out the ingrown hairs, man. I don't know how we just blew through this broadcast in faster time than we ever have in our. I think it's just because we had so many of these schmaz type matches that didn't have.
They're just so quick, like 2-minute no finishes.
But the Heyman family is growing. We've got the Shield. We've got Brock and Punk. They're going.
Is
to
it the
war
Heyman
with McMahon.
family, or is it the Punk family with Heyman kind of?
Well, the
being in
Shield's
there?
still paid mercenaries.
Yeah.
They're work for hire.
Yeah.
They're independent contractors.
That's true. So anybody can.
Vince got
There's
deeper
no
politics.
there's no insurance benefits coming from Mr. Paul E. right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's not even much more to talk about right now. We'll look forward
Overall,
to.
good Raw.
Yeah, I was happy with it. I found it to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
I did too.
Not a lot of full-on matches per se.
Kat
Yeah.
didn't love it. Didn't love it.
I was mixed. I loved like the Paul Heyman thing, and I loved the CM Punk thing, but like the comedy stuff is just a little bit too, child.
There was a little too much of it.
It's too PG. It's too much for. I mean, I guess it is geared towards kids now.
I mean,
so I guess
when
that's
when
what
it's
you
all
get,
about the
you
Fruity
know?
Pebbles box.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
mean,
how many comedy segments did we have tonight?
Oh,
We had.
Ryback,
Do we count the
Laugh.
Lumberjill match as a
Yep.
comedy
Yes.
segment? I would
I would.
say
I
guess
that.
Ryback.
That thing that I thought was
Ryback.
kind of
Tensai.
Tensai. That one I liked.
That's the one that I would have kept. I thought that was the best
Yeah,
one.
and then the Carly thing with the.
Del Rio wasn't
Oh,
a
yeah.
comedy thing, but it was
No,
just
I like
short.
that.
no
But that was
finish.
great,
Well, I like
though.
that too.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
And the
I'm just saying it was
tables
short.
match
Yeah.
was great, and the whole thing with.
But you know that Del Rio thing was pretty long for a beatdown. Like,
yeah, we
they
thought that was
really-
what we thought. We thought it went a little too long for what it was.
I don't know if it went too long for me. I actually liked the length. I felt it was just Big Show was pissed at these two people, tied one up, and just enjoyed beating the crap out of Ricardo to prove a point.
But yeah,
I liked the actually
then
a lot.
you're looking at the Elimination Chamber. If you already have Punk and Rock in their separate match, which Cena kind of spoiled before Punk even came out.
Yeah.
And then if Big Show and Del Rio are continuing their feud.
Who's in the chamber?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, and you know one thing I noticed is
And what does the chamber win actually do for you at that
Exactly.
point?
is when Punk was going off on Cena about we can challenge this day or that day or whatever, but we'll do it in 3 weeks. He actually never said, I'll challenge you at the Elimination Chamber.
No.
Cole actually piped in and said, we'll do it at the Elimination Chamber, and then Rock said it, but Punk actually forgot to say that.
Well, Christian brings up something very interesting there, because normally they use that Elimination Chamber to potentially change who the champion is, which would tweak the main event for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But if neither of the champions are going to be in Elimination
Well,
Chamber
here's
matches, what's the point of the Elimination Chamber win?
Here's the thing as well. They've done multiple chamber matches. Could they possibly do one? We talked because of the combination. And they've done it where the winner then gets a shot at the other title that the Rumble winner didn't get. Haven't they done that before?
They could do one for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah,
like
that's the
number
one.
contender.
And that's what I'm saying. If you just do one Elimination Chamber, because they're essentially ending the brand split.
But then the Chamber's not the main event of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Royal Rumble wasn't the main event last night.
Of the Royal Rumble
Yeah,
pay-per-view.
I mean, it
Good point.
doesn't have to be.
That's true.
Yeah, it's just a big match, and I think now we're always seeing that CM Punk and/or the championship match will once again be back to being the main event. As he made a big deal in that promo that how is it that I was the champ for all this time and I was always relegated to the mid card still, and now they added that prestige back to the title and it stays in its main event spot. Huh? Cluminator, what you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, I got on the same thing you got going on this weekend. I got Millennium.
Wait, let's slow down that music. We got 4 people to get through on these plugs.
I got Millennium Pro Wrestling this weekend up in Simi Valley, California. Boys and Girls Club, 7 o'clock bell time. And then I have the following weekend on the 9th, I will be going up. There we go. I will be up at doing something for Vendetta Pro Wrestling for the first time, so I'm excited about that.
Look at you.
And then the 10th, the next day, I'll be up in Indio, California for Alpha Omega Wrestling.
Very cool. Padgett, you going to be checking out packages anywhere?
Yeah, well, might go get some white on rice action tomorrow night on Spreecast. Saturday, I will be checking out some packages at MPW. Hopefully, checking out morals.
Awesome.
You can teach me my duct taping routine.
There you go.
I'll show you how to tie people up on,
Mr. Rosenberg.
Well, nothing really this week, but like we were saying earlier, the 10th at iOS, myself and John Morrison were Cut That Promo Show. www.west.ioimprov.com for tickets there. I also take part in another wrestling coming out here called the IWL, the Insane Wrestling League.
They were trending on Twitter on their last pay-per-view.
Yeah, I got the pleasure of doing play-by-play for them. You can check out that show that trend on Twitter because they do it on demand at theiwl.com, and our next show will be live on iPay-per-view on the 22nd of February.
Interesting story about IWL. Started as a backyard league that everyone in the area was making fun of, said these guys aren't real wrestlers, this isn't a real wrestling promotion. They were getting crapped on by all the other promoters, and now one of the top independent promotions out here in California.
You got the Young Bucks show up, Jay Lethal, Amazing Red, Jimmy Yang's been there. It's up in Chino, California.
Yep.
Okay.
TheIWL.com.
I'll have to check it out.
And go ahead and throw that Twitter so you can get some extra followers.
Follow me, please, at CRosieVOC.
Rosie.
Rosie.
We'll have to throw that up on our YouTube and Facebook, Twitter.
Miss Cat and your infamy.
Yes, well, in my infamy, I have Wrestling Wires. I've got a show in New Jersey for PWS on February 9th.
Pro Wrestling Syndicate.
Then on the 16th, I'm going to be in New York for FWE.
Ooh, Family Wrestling Entertainment.
Yes. Other than that, I have a couple of new titles coming out on my DVD line, Katarina's Nightmare Theater.
Oh.
And I'm in post-production on my short film that I shot on Friday.
The Thespian.
Very excited about. So.
I hear FWE is a great promotion.
Yes.
I hear very good things about them.
And what is your Twitter?
My Twitter is at Katarina's Infamy, and my website is also www.katarinasinfamy.com.
Fantastic. This Saturday, I too will be at MPW defending my Millennium Pro Wrestling Maximum Championship with bum, ankle, and all. I will prove that I have the heart of a champion when I hobble to the ring and inflict my dominance on the hobo. You can go check out IamSmiley.com where you can buy your mustache mood rings.
Oh, the box isn't out there today.
Nah, I didn't bring the box out today.
Did you sell out and need to get more in?
I got about a dozen left to try to sell this weekend. So, and then we'll see if I do another box or if then maybe when I sell out the rings, it's time to cut the mustache. I don't know.
No.
I'm not sure yet.
Tune in next week to see if he has a mustache.
Yeah, and other than that, man, there was just something else that was
some Voodoo Apocalypse?
Voodoo Apocalypse on CW Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which was getting plugged on the Rumble through some signs. And that's about it. You know, my life is crazy interesting. I got some other things going on that I'll talk about soon after they happen, I guess. And that's that, because I think we're just going to call it a wraps and call it This Was Your AfterBuzz Buzzin' After Raw for the week of January 28th.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Finally! That ankle looks so bad.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.